The reason why Sean Strickland has so much success with them, because he just walked him down. He just walked him down. It was all straight punches. But if you give this guy space, this guy's gonna hurt you. If he was able to hurt a guy like Alex Pereira, you know, with striking, he can hurt anybody in the world.
My name is Triple C. I am the greatest combat athlete of all time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Teletape. I'm your host, Cejudo, aka Triple C, and that's right, guys. Today I am breaking down Israel Adesanya versus Dricus Du Plessis, the highly anticipated match. Who is the real king of Africa? Dricus Du Plessis 21-2 versus Israel Adesanya 24-3. 9 KOs for Du Plessis, 10 submissions from Du Plessis. And that's one thing that I can tend to just look at and stand just like, wow, the dude can submit. And I've seen him submit people in the UFC very nasty with 2 decisions. Israel Adesanya, 16 KOs, 0 submissions, and 8 decisions. I mean, talk about more the championship experience factor. It has to go for a guy like Israel Adesanya. Height, 6'1" to 6'4". I mean, the 3-inch advantage, that's right, height advantage for a guy like Israel Adesanya. Not just top of that, but also a 4-inch reach advantage too for the range. But the advantage here too, the age. You had to go with Dricus. I used to call him Dricus, but apparently it's Dricus. And everybody doesn't nobody kind of corrects anybody, but it is Dricus Du Plessis with a silent S. But without further ado, guys, the current champ, Dricus Du Plessis with a silent S. What are his strengths? I'll tell you one of his strengths, and people don't tend to really understand it, but it's his constant pressure. What he was able to do with Robert Whittaker, what he was able to do with a guy like Sean Strickland that does the Philly shell, and he typically tends to people. This dude will press anybody. I do believe he's gonna do the same thing in that fight with Israel Adesanya. And it's not just that, but it's his ability to go in for takedowns. His takedowns may not be the nicest, but he goes out there, he grabs a hold of you, and he's taking you down. On top of that too, which is something that's very, very underrated for a guy like Dricus Du Plessis, is he'll go southpaw change to be able to kick that lead leg. His kicks are underrated. Yeah, they're not the nicest, but if he gets from point A to point B and he actually hurts you, it does not matter. Nothing needs to be flashy. It just has to be effective. And KO power. I mean, we talk about that Whittaker fight. It was a jab, boom, with little gloves. This guy has been able to really bring in that power, and when you're able to finish a dude like Robert Whittaker in the fashion that he did, and out wrestle him and really bring MMA and mixed martial arts to be able to get that victory, that says a lot about a guy like Dricus Du Plessis. And now let's talk about Dricus Du Plessis. Let's talk about his weaknesses. And one thing that I will say that Israel Adesanya is going to try to do is expose him off his wide shot, because he's so muscular. Sometimes he gets a little loopy. So Dricus is going to have to look at a little bit of, he has to take a little bit of the pages of what Sean Strickland did against Israel Adesanya. It's going to be linear punches. Keep it straight, press him, and I will go straight punches. You get rid of Israel Adesanya's heavy kick, and you take away that hook from him too. You know, and he's open to straight counters, you know, and check hooks, because he does rush forward. This is something where Israel is going to go ahead and do. I call it the limbo hook. I know, because Israel's is different. He actually leans back like he's about to do a limbo, and he'll eventually throw that hook and he catches people. It's very deceiving, but there could also be takedowns there too. You know, and sometimes because he gets emotional, he does throw his body into like everything. Like he'll lunge and go. And that's something that he's going to have to be careful with. He's going to have to make those adjustments, or he just wrestles Israel Adesanya the whole damn time. But Israel will expose that. And the last one, even though he gets the takedowns, his entry needs some work. I think he needs to do a better job of faking, level changing, really setting things up in order for him to not get tired. Because Israel, this fight could go 5 rounds. Is he ready? Is the question. But without further ado, let's talk about his nemesis. That's right, Israel, the style bender, Adesanya. What are his strengths? And I know I'd be hating on Israel like you guys wouldn't believe, but he hates on Pereira every damn time too, so we're even, right? So what are Israel's strengths? Really good. His fakes. His ability to call people in, his anticipation, the way he sets traps, but it's really his fakes and feints and the way sometimes he'll set traps and people don't see it. He'll fake, move, get the opponent to come in, boom, he's kicking, like he did with Paulo Bohashinha. He'll use a lot of his hips. And when you start paying attention to this, the hands will start coming. Or if he's going here, all of a sudden you're thinking hands, and then boom, he's kicking you. You know, and then now is like the ability of him also even mixing his strikes. If you watch that fight with Derek Brunson, I mean, dude, he was using knees, defending takedowns, letting them back up and hitting them with different strikes. Really mixing his striking is what also makes this guy dangerous. So he's not just a Pereira with a heavy hook or it's a kick. This guy is more diverse with his striking. You know, and his power of anticipation and shot selection. Like he, you know, if he has to stay basic, he'll also do that too. You know, Israel has had some boring ass fights where I'm just like, man, I'm never gonna go watch this dude fight live. But he's also made that stuff up. But call him what you want to call him. One thing you will call him is a freaking winner, because he's done that in the past, despite all my hate too. You know, and the biggest thing, his distance management. He does such a good job of keeping people at range. The reason why Sean Strickland has so much success with them, because he just walked them down. He just walked them down. It was all straight punches. But if you give this guy space, this guy's gonna hurt you. If he was able to hurt a guy like Alex Pereira, you know, with striking, he can hurt anybody in the world. But the sport is called MMA, mixed martial arts, and that's the difference. But let's talk about his weaknesses. You know, he has trouble with his constant measured pressure. At times he doesn't know what to do when somebody's just pressing him. He's thinking twice about it. He's like, oh, my kick ain't there. He took away my kick. You know what, screw it. I'm gonna go with the hook. And I think that fight with Sean Strickland really taught us all. It's like, hey, dude, you can beat this dude in the striking department with a great game plan. You know, I do believe that also. I do believe that his hands could, because he's so well-rounded with the striking. I feel like if there's one area where he could still get better, is still with his hands. You know, he's boxed before. He has losses in boxing, but I would really maybe develop, you know, get better in those certain positions where guys are pressing you and throwing straight punches, cutting angles, you know, being in a whole nother, being in that fight zone and actually hitting from there. You know, his teep kicks. You know, his teep kicks could also get him in trouble too. You know, he tends to throw them off the counter, but they don't always tend to land. His unconventional strikes, angles, and defense. You know, it's like sometimes you could when you spar with somebody that knows how to, like, you know, a lot of times even in wrestling, when you wrestle with somebody that's at your level, you know, it's very technical. When you get somebody that's just a little off and a little bit different, he throws you off completely. And that's one thing that I will say. With a guy like Dricus Du Plessis, the dude's gonna throw overhands off like the whole thing. I go back to that, like even talking about a guy like Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson, if you go in there and you're a sharp striker and he's sharp too, but then you throw a random dude that would throw overhands from like a mile away and he catches you, like that's the unexpected. So I think that's where I'm saying is, does he have the training partner? You don't need kickboxers. You don't need great strikers, you know, against this fight with Dricus. You need guys that are gonna throw crazy shit at you and then look for takedowns. So to tell the tape, you know, strikes landed per minute goes to Dricus. He's an active fighter, 6.48. Strikes absorbed per minute. In other words, who gets hit a little bit more? It is Dricus, and that's and typically the way it tends to work out is the bigger the risk, the greater the reward. But at times, it's the bigger the risk, sometimes you lose it all. You get knocked the hell out. With that being said, the same reason why his punch count is up, but his defense, because he takes more chances, is down. Takedown accuracy. Wow, I had no idea Israel Adesanya is 47%, so that's not bad. But for a guy that shoots a lot, that means half the time that he goes in for takedowns, he actually gets. You know, takedown defense. Woo, were you guys expecting this? Were you guys expecting 75% for Israel Adesanya? And submission average, right here. You know, when I look at this is why I kind of like it, because it kind of gives you a perspective. And if you want to really break things down, you know, numbers don't lie. But it's the fight game, and that 4-ounce glove changes the damn game. So for that reason, I think I watched these two guys fight. Who is it in this fight is going to have to make adjustments? It's going to have to be Israel Adesanya. You know, he's going to fight him the same. He's going to press him. He's going to go in for wrestling. He's going to tangle him up. He's going to have, he knows of what he saw with a guy like Sean Strickland. So he's going to have to make those adjustments, whether it's going to be the distance, which is what I recommend. Distance, the lateral movements, maybe changing up the strikes, kicking them, moving. And who knows? Maybe even look for your own damn takedowns. But for that reason, if Israel Adesanya cannot do that, which I'm not sure if, you know, if he could really change that, because this guy's just coming, I'm going to have to go with Dricus Du Plessis. And I think from here on out, we can say, who is it that's going to be the world and call himself the real African champ? But for that same reason, I got to go with a guy that brings in MMA, that brings in the wrestling, that doesn't just take people down, but actually hurts them. Dricus Du Plessis, your ground and pound is the real deal. You get on top of people, you hurt them, and I appreciate that. And this is the same reason why I'm going for Dricus Du Plessis. Guys, thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C, and you guys just watched an episode of Tell the Tape. A big shout out to our sponsor, that's right, Lifted Trucks. You may be a short kid, you may be 5'4" of twisted steel sex appeal, but guess what, guys? I'm the wrong about 12 feet damn tall. So if you guys want to lift, you guys make sure to go to liftedtrucks.com and get your lift on. Till next time, I'm out.